This might take a while to tell, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm 18, just started college, and I came from one of those small conservative towns where everyone knows everyone. You know the type, where holding hands at the school dance was considered scandalous. I thought I had relationships all figured out when I left for college. Boy meets girl, they date, maybe fall in love. Simple, right? College hit me like a freight train. I'm sharing a house off campus with my childhood friend Mike. We've known each other since middle school, but college transformed him into this confident, social guy while I'm still the same awkward kid from our hometown. Within the first week, I'm watching Mike navigate the most complicated relationship situation I'd ever seen. Picture this, Mike's hooking up with this girl Sarah in our shared room. I naturally assume they're dating, right? Wrong. Turns out Sarah has a boyfriend named Chris, and Mike knows about it. Chris knows about Mike. And somehow everyone's cool with this arrangement except me, standing there thinking what the hell is happening. This is the same guy who used to get nervous asking for extra ketchup at McDonald's, and now he's casually part of some open relationship thing. Mike explains it like I'm 5, dude, it's college. People explore. Chris is busy with his engineering projects, so Sarah hangs with me sometimes. Everyone's cool with it? Everyone's cool with it? Meanwhile, I can't even make eye contact with someone I'm attracted to without turning red. There's this girl in my literature class, Emma. Gorgeous, smart, has this laugh that makes my brain completely shut down. I've been trying to work up courage to talk to her for weeks, but every attempt ends in disaster. There was this one time in the library where I asked if a seat was taken, and she just stared at me like I was speaking an alien language. I sat down, tried starting a conversation, but she put in earbuds immediately. I left feeling like a complete failure. Meanwhile, Mike's living his best life with his complicated social arrangements, and I'm eating dinner alone every night, wondering what happened to my friend and what I'm doing wrong. Then Mike comes to me with what he thinks is the solution: there's a party this weekend at Chris's place. Emma's going to be there. This is your shot, man. I hate parties. Hate loud music, crowds, meaningless small talk. But the thought of maybe having a real conversation with Emma? That convinced me. Saturday night comes, and I'm standing in our shared bathroom mirror trying on different shirts like I'm going to prom. Mike's laughing from his bed, telling me I'm overthinking everything, but I can't help it. I need this to work because watching my best friend succeed while I fail at everything is getting depressing. We get to the party, loud music, red Solo cups everywhere, people making out in corners. I immediately regret coming. I grab a drink and find a spot by the wall where I can observe without actually participating. Mike brings me another drink, then another. Liquid courage, he says with a wink. After my third drink, the room seems brighter, my anxiety becomes manageable. I can see Emma across the room laughing with friends, and for the first time all night, I think I can actually do this. So I walk over, confidence boosted by alcohol and desperation. Emma. I say, way too loudly. Hey. It's Alex from lit class. She looks surprised, maybe uncomfortable. Oh, hey Alex. I was thinking, maybe we could talk somewhere quieter. I ask, going for smooth but probably sounding desperate. That's when Brad, this confident guy from her group, steps in. Actually, we were just heading to the deck. Maybe catch up later. Emma gives me this apologetic smile. Yeah, maybe later. Enjoy the party. And they're gone. I'm standing there, rejection hitting harder than the alcohol, feeling more alone than ever. So I do what any rational person does, I drink more. A lot more. The next hour is kind of a blur. I remember sitting on a couch, feeling sorry for myself, when someone sits down next to me. You look like you could use a friend, This person says. I look up, and there's this absolutely stunning woman smiling at me. Long dark hair, gorgeous smile, wearing this incredible dress that catches the light perfectly. Is it that obvious? I ask, probably slurring slightly. She laughs. Kind of. I'm Casey. Alex. And I'm apparently terrible at this whole college thing. What makes you say that? Here's the thing, Casey actually listened. For the first time all semester, someone was genuinely interested in what I had to say. We talked about everything, where we grew up, what we're studying, fears about college, dreams for the future. This is beautiful, I said, looking around at the fairy lights someone had strung up outside. Not as beautiful as you, Casey said softly, and I swear my heart skipped a beat. We moved to this little bench area, and Casey sat closer to me. You know, she said, I've been watching you tonight. You have this genuineness that's really rare. I've been feeling pretty invisible lately, I admitted. Well, you're definitely not invisible to me, she whispered, taking my hand. The alcohol, the romantic setting with twinkling lights above us, but mostly just finally feeling connected to someone, something magical was happening. Alex, Casey said, looking directly into my eyes, sometimes the most beautiful connections happen when you least expect them. I never expected tonight, I said, getting lost in her eyes. I never expected, you. What did you expect? She asked, voice soft and playful. Honestly? To go home feeling sorry for myself. But then this gorgeous, incredible person sat down next to me and changed everything. Casey smiled, that beautiful smile that made my stomach flip. You're pretty incredible yourself, you know that. The way she looked at me, like I was the only person in the world who mattered, made me braver than I'd ever felt. I know this sounds crazy, I said, but I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, for you. It doesn't sound crazy at all, Casey whispered, leaning closer. It sounds perfect. When she leaned in to kiss me, time stopped. It wasn't just a kiss, it was like finding a missing piece of myself I didn't know was lost. Wow, I breathed when we broke apart. My thoughts exactly, Casey laughed softly. You're full of surprises, Alex. So are you, I said, tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear. I can't believe someone like you would be interested in someone like me. Someone like you. Casey raised an eyebrow. You mean someone genuine, funny, and absolutely adorable when they're nervous. I felt myself blushing. I'm not adorable. Trust me, Casey said, kissing my cheek, you absolutely are. Especially when you blush like that. We stayed out there for maybe an hour, just talking and getting lost in each other. Casey told me about her dreams, her fears, what made her laugh. For every story she shared, she wanted to hear one of mine. You know what I love about you already? Casey said, playing with my fingers. What? You listen. Really listen. Not just waiting for your turn to talk, but actually hearing me. You're worth listening to, I said. Everything about you is captivating. Captivating. Casey grinned. I like that word. I like you, I said, surprised by my own boldness. I like you too, Alex. More than like, actually. My heart was racing. More than like. Much more, Casey said, kissing me again. This time deeper, more passionate. I felt like I was floating. When we finally came up for air, Casey rested her forehead against mine. This feels like the beginning of something special, she whispered. I hope so, I said. I really, really hope so. As the party wound down, Casey looked at her phone. I should probably find my friends. But Alex. Yeah. Tonight was magical. You made it magical. You're the magical one, I said. You turned what was supposed to be the worst night ever into the best night of my life. Casey stood and pulled me with her. Walk me back inside. As we walked back hand in hand, she stopped and turned to me. I know this might sound forward, but I haven't felt this kind of connection with someone in, well, maybe ever. Really? Really? There's something special about you, Alex. Something that makes me want to know everything about you. I feel the same way, I said. Like I could talk to you forever and never get bored. Then let's make sure this isn't just a one-night thing, Casey said, pulling out her phone. Give me your number. I want to take you on a proper date where we can actually hear each other talk. As I typed my number, she said, fair warning though, I might text you way too much because I'm already missing talking to you. Text me as much as you want, I said. I'll be waiting for every single one. When her friends found her, ready to leave, Casey kissed me goodnight, soft and sweet and full of promise. Sweet dreams, Alex, she whispered against my lips. They will be now, I replied, and she smiled that beautiful smile that was already becoming my favorite thing in the world. I watched her leave, and I swear I was floating. Mike found me standing there with the biggest grin on my face. Dude. Where have you been? I was looking everywhere for you. I met someone, I said, probably grinning like an idiot. Mike, I think I'm falling for someone I just met tonight. That's awesome, man. Who? Casey. We talked for hours, and it felt like finding something I didn't know I was looking for. Mike got this weird look on his face. Casey? Tall, dark hair, wearing a black dress. Yeah, that's her. She's incredible. Smart, funny, beautiful, and she actually seems to like me for who I am. That's when Mike got really quiet. Alex, man, we need to talk. But I was too happy to notice his tone. I spent the rest of the night replaying every word Casey had said, every touch, every kiss. I fell asleep with my phone next to me, hoping she'd text soon. Next morning, I woke up with the worst hangover of my life, but also with incredible hope and excitement. I immediately checked my phone, no text yet, but it was still early. Mike came into my room looking serious. About last night, he started. About Casey. What about her? I asked, still smiling despite my headache. Isn't she amazing? I can't stop thinking about what she said, about this being the beginning of something special. Dude, I don't know how to tell you this, but... Mike paused, looking really uncomfortable. Casey's transgender. The words hit me like a truck. What? Yeah, man. She's trans. Chris told me this morning. Apparently, everyone at the party was talking about you too. You guys were pretty visible last night with all that romantic stuff. I stared at him, my mind trying to process this while still hearing Casey's voice saying you're captivating and this feels like the beginning of something special. Transgender? You mean? She was born male, Alex. She transitioned. Look, if you're cool with it, that's great, but I thought you should know before you get in too deep. I sat there in complete silence, my mind racing. Everything from the night before came flooding back, not just physical attraction, but all those romantic words we shared, the way she made me feel like the most important person in the world, the promises about this being something special. Everyone was talking about it? I asked. Yeah, dude. Some people thought it was cool that you didn't care, others were, well, you know how people can be. But man, you were really laying it on thick with the romantic stuff. People heard you telling her she was magical and all that. I felt my face get hot with embarrassment, but also confusion. Because every word I'd said to Casey was true. She had made the night magical. She was captivating. The connection did feel special. Mike, I said finally, does it change what I felt last night? What do you mean? I mean, when I told her she was beautiful, when I said I felt like I'd been waiting for her my whole life, I meant all of that. Does this information change those feelings? Mike looked surprised. I don't know, man. That's up to you. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that all those romantic moments, all those feelings, they were still real. Casey was still the person who made me feel seen, who called me captivating, who said I was worth listening to. But I was also terrified about what this meant for me, for us, for how everyone else would see me. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about Casey's words, "This feels like the beginning of something special." I kept replaying our entire conversation, and every romantic moment still felt genuine and beautiful. Finally, I decided I needed to see her again. The connection we had felt too real to just throw away because of what other people might think. I texted her, "Hey beautiful, want to grab coffee and continue our conversation from the other night?" She responded quickly, "I was hoping you'd text. I haven't stopped thinking about what you said, about this being magical. I'd love to see you again. Fair warning though, I'm guessing you've heard some things about me by now." "I have," I texted back. "Doesn't change the fact that you're still the most captivating person I've ever met." When we met at a little cafe off campus, Casey looked nervous but hopeful. "So," she said after we ordered, "how are you handling the campus gossip? Still think I'm magical?" "Even more so," I said honestly. "You know what I keep thinking about? When you said I was genuine and worth listening to. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before." Casey's eyes lit up. "You remember that?" "I remember everything, Casey. Every word, every moment. The way you made me feel like I was the only person in the world who mattered." "You were," she said softly. "You still are." "Really? Even knowing that everyone's probably talking about us?" "Especially then," Casey said, reaching for my hand. "You know what took my breath away that night? When you said you felt like you'd been waiting your whole life for that moment. I felt the same way, Alex." "You did." "I did. And I meant it when I said this feels like the beginning of something special. Do you still feel that way?" I looked at this incredible person sitting across from me, beautiful, genuine, someone who made me feel more like myself than anyone ever had. "I do," I said. "I really do." Casey smiled, that same beautiful smile that had captivated me at the party. "Then let's see where this magical beginning takes us." 6 months later, I can tell you exactly where it took us, to the most genuine, loving relationship I could have ever imagined. Casey still calls me captivating, and I still think she's the most magical person I've ever met. The romantic connection we felt that first night? It was real, and it's only grown stronger. So that's my story. My first college party didn't just introduce me to someone special, it taught me that love doesn't fit into the neat little boxes I thought it did. Sometimes the most beautiful connections come from the most unexpected places. End of story.